Obsidian is one of the biggest stones for American Indians. It was called a trade stone. And they would chip these things out of mountains, both big pieces like this, and small pieces that they would find in the dirt like this. It's all natural, not polished. And then what they do is they would trade and barter. So for a blanket that may take 3 months to work, they would trade some obsidian stones. It took them a couple of days to get out of the mountain. But the thing is, not all Indians know where the obsidian is. So it's a trading stone. It was worth its weight in gold. Now, when you talk about the Native American Indians, this is an Apache tear. This Apache tear, most of the time, is a piece of obsidian that has been rumbling around in the rivers for year after year after year. The story goes that the Native American Indians, mostly the grandmothers and mothers that lost braves in their lives, they would pick this up in memory of them, which gives honor to the ones that had passed to the other side, as they would say. Now, we have all types and shapes of obsidians. The obsidian tumblestone is one of the medicine bag stones, and it does a lot of different things. Travis, would you mind telling us what the obsidian does?
So for a lot of people, they really like obsidian as a protective stone. I really see it, if you think about what obsidian is, as the primordial goo of the planet coming out of a volcano, and that mineral essence of the planet, that it's, when you're working with it, very good to bring things out of yourself, and also working on the shadow side of the self, going deeper into learning and seeing deeper things about you.
Now, when you take a look at this sheen, can you tell me, turn this around, honey, and put that back up. You see these different striations, these different colors in there? What is that all about, Travis?
So the lines and layers that you see within the stone can represent the layers of mineral that are present in different densities and different mineral aspects to create different colors sometimes, and the different lines. So in this particular one, I call it phantom obsidian because it's looking at the layers of ourselves and digging deeper.
Nice. Then when you turn around and you get obsidians that look like this, now this obsidian came from India. And an Indian obsidian is different than the Native American that's here in the United States and Mexico. And the reason being they're mostly all black. It's a solid black. The other one is a sheen, they call it. It has a different color of layers. If you put me on hold. Now that's a double terminated, and it's carved. It does not grow that way. It's shaped that way. And the geometric allows it to move energy through the crystal easier. Now if you take a look at this, which is in a heart shape, but that color that we seen in the other one is, this is just magically in a heart shape. So they shape it out horizontal to the colors, and it comes up in this beautiful heart. They also do circles with them and other geometric shapes, and the color in it is called sheen. Stop. And you can cut out whatever you don't like. Let me take this. Don't get you. Now this is called an obsidian mirror. Most obsidian mirrors come from Mexico and India. Obsidians all around the world. Every place has it. And you could see our reflection of our lights above us and everything that's in there. And actually, it's a reflection of you. When you look into this long enough, your perceptions kind of drift to the sides. And without perception, you are able to see things in a whole different light. When you sit here and you look into this obsidian and you're looking really at yourself, of course I'm looking through a camera, and there's Travis in the background. Hello, how are you? You actually, because it's black, it moves your perception to where you could see beyond your perception. And they use these, that's a personal size one. Now we also have, this is very unique, and it's huge. And hello, these are very hard to come by. We had to go through hell to get them to make them because the vein in all crystals, something this big, cracks very easy if it had a vein in it. So these are totally veinless. This is the clean side. I didn't clean this side, but this is black. And the blacker it is, the better it is, because you'll want to move your perception. And this is a Mexican product. Not too many other people but Mexico makes it, because out of every one you make that you will get, you probably tried 3. But any vein in here whatsoever, let me show you what a vein looks like. See, the vein is in here. If you had a vein like this in that big piece, you would crack it. It would break. So they make 3 of them to get 1. And that's the reason why they charge us so much money, because it's labor intense. We're done. Now this piece is a trader piece. This is the size that usually come out of the mountains, that they wouldn't cut or anything. They would just keep it for whatever they wanted to make, a knife, a spear, an oblong, or anything. And what they do is they'll take it. This is the color that it looks like all the way through, but then when you break it off, it's shiny like this. This is not polished. This is a natural shine. This is polished. But you see these stripes in here are these stripes. They just look for them to where they're round around a certain thing, and then they put these angles in them to make them look like hearts. So they can get extremely creative with these things, but basically this is what it looks like. And these are some lines in here could be separations. So to get a piece of mirror that we were just looking at, you might have to get a piece 3 times its size to cut out pieces like this that might chip off. These guys in here are called singing obsidian. They're from Utah. So there's a man, I only know of one man that gets these singing obsidians, and they're actually dug out of sand. And we have them from all sizes. We have them down to this size, up to this size. We used to have the bigger ones, but the bigger ones are much more expensive, and they left us really, really, really quick. But if you listen to them, if I wasn't holding it, if they're up on strings, here, look, there you go. If they're hanging on strings and you put them as a wind chime, it sounds quite unique. They also use them for pinpointing spots called subluxations throughout your body. And it's, if you contact to a subluxation or a tiger point with a piece of obsidian, it draws that energy out. and that's what they're used for. But they're called singing obsidians, and these are from Utah. And again, these here are double terminated, multicolored obsidian. And Travis, do you know where these come from?
So these are the Indian variety, and then these are from Mexico.
Okay, so these are Indian double terminated. Again, that's not a natural shape. And again, that these are a natural shape. These are all natural. Excellent. That's a good picture of them right there. And color means a lot in stones. Your browns, your color relates to your chakras. So if you're working on chakra work, you want the proper color to go along with it. And these are autumnal stones, which I don't care where you go, you'll never find this quality. It was so hard for us to find them. When we found them, we got excited and we overbought them. We buy them by the 5-gallon drums, and we have enough of this stock to last us a good long time. Because when I find something that's exciting, it sells pretty quick in the store, and then we can't reproduce them again because they're not mining or they're gone. They're people that roam the mountains, and they find this and they bring it out, and then they find something else and they bring it out, and you can't get them to go back. It just doesn't work that way. So these are quite magical.
And very good if you're working through any sort of fear aspect. As the obsidian family in general is to bring things out with the mahogany color tone, it definitely has that earth factor, but also keep in mind all obsidian is fire. And so if you have some things that you're working through in the fear department, then this is definitely the stone to work with as well.
Okay, these are snowflake obsidians. And what's really great about the snowflake is that when you polish these up, I'll show you later, becomes much more pronounced. It's a beautiful, beautiful stone. Again, like Travis said, they all work in the area of what Travis explained to you, but the snowflake there's a lot of movement of energy in the snowflake. It's not as consistent and straight lined, but it's tremendously moving. Now show me a piece that's polished. This is the same stone that's been tumbled, and you can see we took all the rough edges off and we tumbled it down. Look at that, that's magnificent. And it's a common stone, it's not that hard to get. We have them at all times, but we don't build up on a volume of them because we can always get them. It's a wonderful common stone. Show me the one with the sheen in it. Now, if you look into these stones, Travis, where did you turn that one stone? There you go. You can start seeing it now. The camera's not picking up on it greatly, but the sheens is the magic of them, or the pitch black. So you want a lot of sheen or a lot of pitch black, one or the other, but they all do basically the same thing.
Oh, right there.
That's
in
the
corner.
one. Yeah, get that corner. Bring that corner up a little bit. Right there, yeah. Look at that sheen in there. If you've seen it in life, you'd be smiling.
And then just something to add with the snowflake, because it has that white and dark aspect, I kind of see them as working with the balance of that yin and yang, balancing polarities. Life is full of polarities, the universe is polarities, and here in the stone it's represented with those color aspects for balancing your polarities.
Perfect. Off.
So next we have black tourmaline. This is from Brazil. This is below sea level. It is said to repel negative energy. It is also a very grounding and balancing stone. It as well as it offers some EMF protection.
Great to have with your cell phones and put on your Wi-Fi routers, or even these new systems that they're plugging in for the Wi-Fi meter readers that everyone is concerned about, and the 5G networks that people are concerned about. It's a stone in your pocket, and to put anywhere where you feel that you might be sensitive to the Wi-Fi.
Now, you heard Jules say that it's below sea level, and that just doesn't mean it has to grow below. It does come quite a bit, maybe a story or two above sea level. But once it gets so high, it transfers energy. It gives up the husk, the body of its own stone, to develop, to go finer and finer and finer. All stones do this. So the below ground sea level stone works primarily in the body. It works primarily allowing you to let go of your belief systems. Actually, I just said that incorrectly. What it does is it feeds your belief systems so they stay intact, and you still have enough of this mineral to burn to stay balanced. A lot of people think that it takes away evil. It takes away negative entity and negative charge. And that is true. It does take in all negativity, all chaotic movement. It pulls that energy form into it, and it stops it from going into your body. Now here we got
Black tourmaline with mica. With mica, it's an excellent stone for meditation. It encourages self-reflection, as well as it promotes flexibility in all situations. So you have that, along with the grounding and balancing energies of the black tourmaline.
I personally love the mica in the below ground tourmaline, but I do not like mica in above ground. It causes chaos rather than harmony. In below ground, they work together. But as the higher the stone is, the more independent it becomes. So when you get a pure piece of clean quartz, it's because it's matured. And as these mature, it becomes cleaner, more stable, and a prettier stone.
And the mica, with that reflective quality, is enhancing the energetics in not only the body but out into the environment as well, having that reflective nature. And the next one that I'm really excited about are this black tourmaline, but with these beautiful facets and a much cleaner look, more, as some people would say, a specimen grade. But these are from Madagascar, and we were very excited to find out that, you know, every tourmaline we get in the store, no matter where it's from or what form, we do the tourmaline test to see if it's physical in the body or if it's working more in the energetics. And I was very excited to find that these work in the body. And we find that tourmalines similar to these with the terminations usually are above sea level or working in the energetics. So here we find a more refined, fine-tuned concentration of the black tourmaline mineral, creating these beautiful facets, but still helping to work physical in the body.
And if you notice the shape of the top of this stone here, that's all natural shape. That's not done. So it grows in a geometric. Most stones grow in one form of geometric or another. The tops are absolutely magnificent. Now this is where, turn it upside down. That's where it broke off, or it was chipped off and pulled out of the mountain. And the other side is where it was exposed and growing. And it grows from, keep it right where it is, it grows from this into this. And this piece here is a natural flow of the energy forms, and they get geometric. When you get a natural flow of an energy form, it is very geometric.
So we'll show these ones are tumbled from India. They have a little bit more quartz running through the matrix of the stone. And then as well next to it is the Madagascar, also polished. Feels really good in the palm. And Tim's going to show off a couple other palm stones in a moment. But different shapes can bring out different energies and feelings or sensations and representations for people. You know, with these angels, we have carvings of angels in all different stones, and people are going to have the safety sensation of the tourmaline itself, and also resonating with the representation of the symbol of the angel.
Now these angels and this wand that she's showing you are made of above sea level stone. It's much more solidified, it's much more matured, it's much more together, it stays together much better. It's a healthy stone. I think the hardness of the stone is 7. It's probably a 6 or a 7. I'm guessing now, I'm not exact. But it's in that line anyway, to where the hardness of the below ground that's not matured, below sea level I should say, that's not matured, is probably in your 4 or 5. Now these stones are my favorite. Oh well, before we go on to this stone, let me just say something about these stones. These stones here are above ground, and if you see them, they're solid. So the more mature, the longer they are growing in earth, because all crystals grow. It's a mineral. So these things grow in earth, and the longer they grow, the more refined they get. We're supposed to do that too. We're supposed to refine ourselves, but we don't do it as often as we should, or most of us don't anyway. Now these other stones, these palm stones, is below ground, and I love them. And the reason why I love them is because if you're in turmoil and you're emotionally upset and you're just generally pissed, I was going to say pissed F off, but I don't think I should talk like that on this recording. But when you're really in a bad way, these stones really ground you. I mean, allow you to ground yourself. They're wonderful. They grip well. Let me hold this on. So they grip really well. They hold really well. They're tight, and they're forever working. These work like the devil. I mean, they're so pronounced, and they work so very hard.
So now we have the black tourmaline in quartz. And with that, we have the grounding and balancing, stabilizing energies of the black tourmaline, amplified by the clear quartz. And how that works is clear quartz has memory, so it's able to time bind the properties of the clear quartz and the black tourmaline, amplifying all of its energy.
Beautiful.
And we have so many different ones too.
No medicine bag should be without a piece of tourmaline with quartz in it. Now, as most of you know, that the quartz is a chip that's used in computers to house your memory. So your memory is basically a piece of crystal chip. It used to be a natural chip, but now they grow their own crystals to get the chip to improve the memory, but they're much shorter term memory. These memories that you're looking at right now, right here, are universal memories. We didn't program these with anything from a computer. This is all natural universal memory. So when you get the tourmaline and the universal memory together, you have something that's got a big safety to it, meaning the tourmaline, and something that's very pronounced in one little stone. So it's a wonderful stone to have. Travis, could you show us them bigger ones? Whoa, look at this.
And what's cool about this particular one is that you can see the formation of the black tourmaline growing, but here's the indent where it finally consolidated and grew into what it was supposed to become, and then eventually grew right out of the host rock, which is the smoky quartz. So it was, in a sense, pulling and feeding on the mineral of the smoky.
Nice job.
To then create and form itself.
Now, most of the time, anytime you see a piece of tourmaline in a piece of quartz of any size, any shape, or any quartz, it's never a below sea level quartz. It's always above sea level. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but 9 out of 10 times. You got that other example that comes up like a point?
Now here we're getting into something that's like a multivitamin. Because you've got the smoky quartz, which has its grounding effects as well. And kind of, if you think about the grounding effect that an electronic cord has, that grounding cord, using smoky quartz can be similar to helping to anchor energies into the earth. So you got the black tourmaline here, and then what's also fun is that it has feldspar, which is moonstone. So here's your peach moonstone, which is all a feminine intuition. Also has a bit to do with movement and stability around perception, because in some areas of the moonstone you can shift it and see different aspects, so you have to shift yourself to see something different. So combined with all these three together, you get a beautiful powerhouse of multi-dimensional aspects.
And a stone like this, being that the tourmaline is a higher energy working stone. Now, electromagnetics are for below sea level stones, and electromagnetics are in your body, and it's a low level. But now we're going into a new electromagnetic called, what's that 5 thing that's
5G?
going
5G.
5G that's going on. This is a great stone for 5G because the feldspar and the smoky quartz are wonderful stones for the body, and this is bringing it from the higher down. It's protective.
So now we have the ocean jet, which is grown in the oceans of Maine. It's hand-picked in small batches, and with this stone, what lovely stone it is, it helps to release cellular memory pain, as well as some types of chronic pain. And I've experienced this myself physically with some shoulder pain I had one morning coming into work, and I had this stone in mind, and I started pressing it in my shoulder once I got in. Maybe like 2 minutes later I put it down, and I literally felt like I had a new shoulder.
You know, this is something you really have to experience.
Yeah.
Because telling you that it takes away pain, it sounds to me like I'm full of shit. It sounds to me like it's not real. But when you come into the store, ask for a demonstration. If you have pain, come on in. 9 out of 10, I'm not saying it's going to work 100% every time, but I can tell you, we'll do 20, 30 people and one person it may not work in. And sometimes they just want to hold on to their pain, which I think that's the reason it doesn't work. Pain works off memory. When you get smacked, that initial sting is the pain. However, after that pain is there, you still feel pain because your mind works with it. It's like you watch me boil a pot of hot boiling water, and then I take a pot and I switch it on you with cold water and I throw it on your body. You could actually blister because your mind works. You thought it just got hit by hot water. That is a trick that our intellect plays on us. So to hold that trick gone, this stops the connection from the pain to the intellect.
Ocean Jet is also a high carbon content, and when people come in and I show this stone, my nickname is like an Epsom salt bath in a stone, because when you're in that Epsom salt bath, the pain's released and your body softens up. And then I'll see people start tearing up because they've held on to certain pains in their body for a long time. And I'll place the stone for about a minute or two, and then it just opens up. We've also seen this work really well for instance, rotator cuff syndrome, or movement of the joints that are very stiff, where there's little movement. That can help to really open up full movement. The interesting thing about the jet is that after it's used, it's very important to rinse it with a little bit of just fresh, clean water. Me personally, I'll do a little sea salt just because it's from the ocean, but Tim says you don't have to have the sea salt, so that's a preference, but definitely some water to clear the stone out, but also to re-energize it. Now, this is said because the stone is from the ocean. Most stones, if not all stones from the store, and in general, you don't have to clean per se, because a mineral and a crystal is putting out its energy. We're the ones that soak it up, and it supports us and our bodies and our mind, body, and spirit. Now, the cleansing or the ritual that people may have, I find more for them. The cleansing for their bodies, for their auras, for their environment. And stones are there for the support and the enhancement and the supplementation of that.
Now, you're not going to read very much on Ocean Jet, because I'm going to say you can go into 20, 25 crystal shops